All right, back once again. Marcy Sports Talk in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And apparently, according to Zach Lowe, there's a trade market for Blake Griffin. It's not high, but first let's talk about Christian Wood. Christian Wood happened on Instagram Live yesterday, and then also he deleted it and said where should he go. And basically, it sounded like his resignation from being a Detroit Piston. It is what it is. It wasn't a must-have to bring him back. I thought it was, at around $10 million, for probably a 2 or 3 year deal. Why not? Buddy Hield, he getting like $20-some million a year. He ain't made an All-Star team or Jaylen Brown. So, personally, if you walk, you walk. It just make it look even worse that the Pistons didn't trade Drummond and Blake Griffin a couple seasons ago. At least if you trade them and get something for them, picks or future picks or other players, at least you further along in the rebuild. Also, it hurt that they didn't get Darius Bazley with that late pick. That's what they wanted. And also, it hurt that they didn't get Kevin Porter Jr. I'm not trying to hear, he has some issues. I ain't trying to hear that. Talent. I'm not worried about issues. If he get in trouble, so be it. Or if he has some issues, so be it. Talent. We'll worry about the other shit when he get here. That's the problem with Detroit teams. They want you to come to the city in Detroit and play, but they want everybody to have high character. It don't work that way. When you 18, 19, 17, whatever you was, whenever you did it, 20, 21 years old, you're going to have issues. Nobody is perfect. A lot of these guys that you do draft, they done something, and they covered it up in college or high school, or it just ain't never been exposed. So I never understood the route of just taking goody two-shoes. But if he leave, he leave. They just set the rebuild even back that much further. They talking about we not rebuilding, retooling. Stop that. Dwayne Casey's just a grade A idiot as a basketball coach. He don't know shit about basketball, no way. But no, stop saying it. This is a rebuild. Embrace it. At least if Christian Wood didn't turn out to be nothing but a good big fella off the bench, at least you had your Mehmet or core, or bare minimum. I wouldn't compare him to him, but Eldon Campbell. At least you had your Mehmet or core. But now you have nothing. The other guys that go out there, Blake Griffin, he ain't nothing. He ain't worth nothing no more, not to us. Derrick Rose, he can't play a full season. I said it last year. Everybody that said, you hating on Derrick Rose. How you like me now? Luke Kennard, he ain't nothing but a bench player. Anybody who got there except for Diambo, it ain't no future of being a starter in the league. At least not a starter on the championship caliber team. At least with Woods, you had a guy that you could say he could have played the 4 or the 5. You had somebody that you could have bare minimum ball off the bench and give you a spark. But they legitimately, on this team, if I was to forecast it, they legitimately got one guy that they can count on. All these other dudes y'all talking about, Jordan Bone and all these G League guys that ain't going to amount to nothing, Dante Hall, I ain't trying to hear that. What they really got is a guy in Sivi Malachi, I will say, that can probably come off the bench and give you some buckets. And you got a guy in Diambo. That's it. Once you lose Christian Wood, everybody else, maybe you can develop Bruce Brown and whoever you bring in the draft. This team is at ground zero. Real talk. They're at ground zero. Legitimately, I'll probably say, in the best case scenario, Bruce Brown, Sivi Malachi, and Diambo maybe is your 3 players that you can kind of build with, per se. But right now, they really don't have nothing to hold on to. Luke Kennard, he can't stay healthy. Blake Griffin can't stay healthy. Derrick can't stay healthy. So really, they building this thing from the ground up. They got a ton of cap space. But Christian Wood, it's not a make or break to keep him, but they should try to keep him. But anything over too far of a market value, go ahead. If you want to get signed and trade to the Lakers, and they want to do Christian Wood and Derrick Rose to the Lakers for Kuzma, or they want to do Christian Wood and Luke Kennard to the Phoenix Suns for Kelly Oubre and the number 10 pick, I'm not mad at that at all. I would prefer the Oubre trade, but it's slow and steady. But I'm not really concerned about Christian Wood at all. It is what it is. If he want to leave, he want to troll, he could be a one-hit wonder, and we sign him for 3 years, $30 million, and we regret it. So he can't defend no way. So once you go out there and you say, I got Blake Griffin, who old and can't defend, Derrick Rose, who getting older, Luke Kennard, who can't defend his shadow, and then you put out there Christian Wood, they need somebody in the middle. And hopefully for them, they trade up. There's some rumors about them trading up as well too. So they trade up and they're able to get Wiseman. I think that's a perfect fit. You plug Wiseman there. Hopefully you're able to find you a 4 down the line, or you're able to trade for Kuzma. But if Wiseman fall to them at 7, also it's the deterioration of the of the 5. Her Andre Drummond and the Cavaliers far apart an extension, and that's why we got rid of them, because we weren't gonna be able to afford them. Maybe Wiseman do drop to 7, just because nobody's really looking at a classic big fella no more. But that'd be interesting to see what happened at 7. But as Wiseman there, I feel like you got to take him. Especially if you lose Wood, to solidify your middle for the future. So now you got 2 good defenders out there, Wiseman and Diambo. And then, next year you can put another great guy there with him. But yeah, I prioritize Wiseman over a lot of guys, just in my opinion. But with Blake Griffin, with a trade value, it depends. If I can give a late first or a second, and somebody can take his contract, and I get expiring contract back, or they just can take his contract, and we get 30-something extra $1 million on the cap, I'd do it. Blake Griffin ain't of use other than being a mentor on this team. That's what people got to understand. Blake Griffin is done. Blake Griffin needs to be on a championship caliber team, Brooklyn, Denver, somewhere like that. For the most part, Blake Griffin, there's no point. He needs to be somewhere winning a championship. He old. He still got a little bit left in the tank, but why waste your little bit left in the tank in Detroit? Where we clearly rebuild. The same thing for Derrick Rose, You would love them to be there to mentor the young guys, but even if you draft a guy this year, they mentor them for 1 year. It ain't like you got a team full of established young guys. So, me personally, you can ride his contract out, see if you can amnesty him. If the CBA, they pushed it back, allow it. But to be honest, if he come for the ride or not, who cares? If you're on the team, the team ain't about to go win 50-something games, 40-something games. It's just be bad every year, hit on the draft, build a team, build a young core, put some veterans around there and then compete for a championship. You got to do what Boston did. They got Brown, they got Tatum. That worked. Drafted smart, They got the right team. So for the Pistons, you got Diambo, okay. You could have put Kevin Porter with him. You didn't. You missed out on Darius Bazley. He played well last year as a rookie as well. So now, we're not trading Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond a couple years ago at the trade deadline. Now, instead of you being, let's say Bruce Brown, because Luke Kennard ain't nothing. Y'all hate when I say that, but he ain't. Bruce Brown, you lose Christian Wood, you say Bruce Brown, Diambo, and Sivy Malachi, right? Let's say you up 3 young players that you feel that can help, that can kind of be a part of a championship caliber team. Doesn't mean they have to be Chauncey. Maybe Bruce Brown could be Lindsey Hunter at an older age, or be Mike James. Malachi can kind of be your Bobby Sura before you trade it for Rasheed Wallace. Not saying they're going to be Chauncey, Rip, Tayshaun, or a truly important component, but maybe they can be a part of depth. But instead of you being 5 or 6 young players up with trading Blake Griffin and Derrick and Andre Drummond before last year, you could be 6 young players up, 6 important players up. So pretty much they at ground zero. If you ask me, Blake Griffin on the team, it doesn't matter. It matters him mentoring the young guys. But other than that, it doesn't matter. He can be along for the ride. You lose that money off the cap. They got to draft well. That's what it boiled down to. Derrick Rose is begging to go back to Chicago. I'm pretty sure Blake want to be part of a championship caliber team, but he happy getting paid 30-something, almost $40 million. But the Pistons could have been a lot farther along if Stan Van Gundy didn't mess up assets and all of that, man. And, they just gave up picks. It's funny how some of these guys get qualified to be general managers and coaches, and I'm like, where? The fans know more than the front office people, but hopefully Troy Weaver able to draft. It'll go a long way. He got a lot of picks at 7. Like I said, Phoenix shopping their 10th and Kelly Oubre. He only got a 1-year deal left, so it don't work. You can let him walk and still come around with 2 picks in his draft for a little bit of nothing. But, hopefully the best case scenario is they sign and trade Christian Wood if he don't want to be here. If you get him to LA with Derrick Rose and get Kuzma back in the pick, that'll work. If you get the 10th pick and Oubre, that'll work. I mean, it's a lot of different ways you can do it. Heard the Knicks like him. You know, the Knicks got some young players that you can, hopefully develop. Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. They got some guys over there, but we'll just pretty much see how it play out. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. Appreciate everybody that do share the videos. The best way to donate. If you want to make a donation, Cash App CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Keep sharing the videos. Check out our Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Got a draft spotlight coming up a little bit later, so hopefully you guys check that out. One time for the one time we going, and also check my other channel out, Good Philly Sports TV, for more sports news and entertainment. We going.